This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on manufacturing of medical equipments in light of COVID-19. The participants are Dr. Jitendra Sharma, CEO of Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, and Senior AIR Correspondent, M.S. Lakshmi.
In the wake of COVID-19, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India has recently given approvals for manufacturing medical equipment and also drugs to a few companies and a few industries and units across the country. One such unit is Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, which is in Visakhapatnam. Dr. Jitendra Sharma, what exactly the approval is regarding and what type of medical equipments you are manufacturing at this moment?
DBT AMTZ partnership is about a strategy which has multiple projects in it. Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, along with other departments like Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India, has put in place a very robust plan to make India self-sufficient in medical technology. On the other hand, AMTZ, as we are popularly known as the Andhra Pradesh Medical Technology Zone, is world's first integrated medical equipment manufacturing park. It has hundreds of partners, scores of factories, and all the industrial labs needed for medical equipment manufacturing. The reason why DBT and AMTZ has come together is simply because the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India promotes science and AMTZ promotes manufacturing using that science. And therefore, in medical equipment manufacturing, the laboratories that are needed are all established already at AMTZ Visakhapatnam. This strategy of DBT AMTZ is known as DBT AMTZ Command Strategy. And command word is a short form acronym of COVID MedTech Manufacturing and Development Strategy. This command strategy is a triangle. It has three important programs. Each program has multiple projects and products under it. So, in the command strategy of DBT AMTZ for COVID, the activity 1, which is first point of the triangle, is to handhold all the startups that have been funded by DBT and take them to the next level of conclusion, perfection or production. Then we come to point 2 of the triangle. The point 2 of the triangle is for established company. Now you would know that there are companies in India that manufacture diagnostic products as well as ventilators to some extent. But to meet the COVID demand, their manufacturing capability needs to be improved by 20 to 30 times. That cannot be done overnight, and that requires a huge amount of investment. That requires expansion of their infrastructure facilities. So under the command strategy, DBT has supported AMTZ to select few manufacturing partners who are already with AMTZ and support them for increase in their plant and machinery for production, which means we are able to now aim to produce about 200 to 300 ventilators per day and about 60 to 80,000 confirmatory tests RT-PCR diagnostic kits per day and about 1 lakh plus antibody kits for diagnostics per day, with about 5,000 units of PPE, the personal protective gown for healthcare workers, 5,000 per day, and N95 masks about 50,000 per day. The point 3 of the triangle is to support them for quality and standardization. Safety of product is more important than quantity of product. So if I were to conclude this triangle, it would be point 1, supporting startups and innovators, point 2, supporting manufacturers who are established to incrementally improve their production capacity, and point 3 is to attain and help them attain an internationally benchmarked level of quality and safety.
How many startups you have been working and hand-holding manufacturing units, and where we stand right now?
In terms of startups, we are supporting more than 20 startups today who are in various stages of perfection and towards their product realization roadmap. In terms of manufacturers, we are working with, for COVID, about 10 manufacturers, and adding the non-COVID related products, about 30 to 40 manufacturers for various products. For the quality and safety, we are working with almost every single national institution that deals with this subject.
How far we have traveled since the DBT has given approvals?
The scaling up activity has started about a month ago. It has been achieved to a great extent in terms of diagnostic kits. In terms of ventilators, we are in the phase 2 of our production, which is batch production. And in another 10 to 15 days, the large scale production would start. Although we are producing in smaller batches now.
That means the country can expect 5,000 PPEs and other important equipments like ventilators in a full scale. How did you imagine that this particular situation will arise and you will be increasing your manufacturing in several folds?
It was set up only to produce medical equipment. There were two methods that were used. Method 1 was to exploit the technologies that are already available. Now, in this context, I would like to give you an example of something very small, like infrared non-touch thermometer, which they see everywhere. You will be surprised to know that no other entity in the country actually makes an infrared non-touch thermometer, although it's such a small product. All it needs is a high-end infrared sensor, a good R&D design, and production capability. You would know that security cameras are put at public places, and these security cameras take images. But instead of image of the person, if we were to incorporate a very high-end temperature sensor in these security cameras, they become thermal cameras. They give us temperature maps. High footfall places like railways and airports could have these so that you would know the temperature of the forehead of every passenger that is walking in. On the other hand, the technology access is critical for other products also. For example, the N95 masks that everyone uses, the N95 mask has a valve which used to come as import. That valve we are able to make that valve for as small a cost as 8 rupees or 7 rupees per valve in our 3D printing center, integrate it with the fiber technology that we have, the filter technology, which are nanofibers. And this bottleneck of having a valve and filter fiber is something which is allowing us to make N95 masks.
You have mentioned about the innovators and startups. What kind of other products you can think about in this present scenario, which you may be considering to produce, manufacture?
There are two things. One, is this time for research? It is time for research on vaccine, on finding newer ways to attack the virus or a disease. But this is not the time to spend effort on research on traditional products like ventilators. There is no time because the demand is huge. And the COVID has brought in a great attention on healthcare. The stalwarts of healthcare across the country have mentioned about the need for healthcare to become a necessary part of social agenda.
What type of cost effectiveness you see into this scaling up of manufacturing of these medical equipment?
So the scale up of manufacturing of medical equipment during COVID has happened only for COVID related products. The entire formula of meeting the production capacity, enhancing production capacities to meet the national demand is essentially based on a word that you just used, cost effectiveness. Now, it takes about 200 to 300 crores worth of laboratories for a medical device manufacturer to produce a manufacturing device and test it in validated laboratories. What AMTZ has done is by setting up all those industrial scale laboratories, it has brought cost effectiveness of manufacturing, testing and validation in the hands of manufacturers for the first time in the country. The second is cost effectiveness of increasing production. That is possible only when we support them with the machinery production, which DBT has done in case of COVID-related products at AMTZ.
Have you observed any new technologies since you have been working with startups which are having some prototypes or some new designs with them?
At the back of all the work is the market. Now, India's medical devices market is about 55,000 crores, in which almost 80 to 83% import dependent, about 42,000 crore per annum. So when startups bring out technology, in this 42 to 43,000 crore of import, 80% is traditional machinery. the operation theater lights, the ventilators, the operating tables, the blood analyzers, the endoscopes, and so on. So it is very important while talking of medical technology to remember two things. One, innovative products make only 2 to 3% of the market share. The remaining 97 to 98% market share is governed by the traditional product, in which it is very necessary to build a domestic manufacturing capability. It is very easy, or perhaps acceptable, if not easy, to make, for example, a sensor 5 units in a laboratory or a scientific institution. But it is very difficult to produce 50,000 units of that sensor in 1 month, beating the international price of other Southeast Asian countries. And I think one message which is very clear from this COVID crisis is that our institutions, they have to go. Earlier, they used to talk of basic research, fundamental research. Then we used to talk of translational research, in which a basic research can be converted into a product or has the potential to be converted into a product. Now, I think even from translational research, the institutions have to go into product realization mode. They have to understand that a great institution does not become great by bringing out one battery or one sensor on one power electronic board once in 3 years in the name of a patent. What is important is, do they have capability as on today to produce it in 20, 50, 30,000 per day, beating the cost of other Southeast Asian countries' products. And if our scientific institutions can go into the product realization mode and become suppliers of critical components. You
highlighted the need for scientific institutions in India to take up research and product realization mode. Before concluding, I would like to ask you, what is the roadmap from now in a near future, especially in the COVID context?
We have just two roadmaps. Roadmap one in context of COVID, to meet the national demand in next 2 months as per the targets given to us. Roadmap 2 is that in our 43,000 crore per annum worth of import, AMTZ should be able to produce at least 10,000 crore worth of medical equipment per annum from the year 2020-21, so that we are able to do at least 25% import substitution through AMTZ.
So for this, how many years you may take and you are planning to take?
2 years. It is very important for the audience to understand that doing science and doing the business of science are two different things. I may produce a crown jewel of a technology or a satellite or a submarine or of an MRI, but if I am not able to give it in thousands of pieces at affordable cost, my science does not have a societal value.
In the present situation of medical equipment sector in the country, and especially in the given situation of COVID, as per your assessment, what is in store for the sector in near future?
If we were to learn our lesson as institutions, that one, technological achievement needs to be converted into a product. Two, the industry which delivers product needs infrastructure support of testing labs and manufacturing capabilities. And three, the products made in India should be of internationally benchmark quality and safety. The prospects of medical technology sector coming out of this COVID crisis is golden. It will not only be able to serve the country in a meaningful way now, but will make India a stronger scientific and economically progressive society.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jitendra Sharma. As you rightly put it, we need to realize the lessons which we have to learn, especially working on product realization mode and convert it into internationally benchmark quality of scientific products. Thank you so much.
You were listening to a discussion on manufacturing of medical equipments in light of COVID-19. The participants were Dr. Jitendra Sharma, CEO of Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, and Senior AIR Correspondent, MS Lakshmi. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.